Hey, second grade. The hum. Hey, second grade. The poem that we're gonna learn about today is called Haiku. So a haiku is really fun because it is using patterns. So it actually comes from Japan, and it is a 17 syllable pattern. So the first line is 5 patterns. The second line. Hey, second grade, the poem that we're going to be learning about today is called haikus. Haikus are really fun because they use syllables to make patterns. So remember, a syllable is the parts of a word. So for example, if we have the word elephant, you would clap it out like this, elephant. So it's 3 syllables. Or the word cup, cup, that would be 1 syllable. We've practiced those in first grade and kindergarten. I know you know them. So it's a really fun type of poem that adds in some patterns, and it's kind of fun because you have to work with words in order to fit them into the pattern. So haikus actually come from Japan, and they use 17 syllables to make this pattern. So the first line is 5 syllables, the second line is 7 syllables, and then the third line is 5 syllables again. Now, I am going to show you a haiku that was already written, and then I'm going to show you how I would write one. All right, so this is a haiku called A Rainbow, and it's by Donna Brooke. Curving up, then down, meeting blue sky and green earth, melding sun and rain. Now, if we were to clap out each syllable or each line, you would find the pattern that I just talked about, 5, 7, 5. Let's try it with the first line. Curving up, then down. Curving up, then down. So there's 5 there. Let's try it with the second line. Remember, there should be 7 syllables there. While I clap, count along with me. Meeting blue sky and green earth. Meeting blue sky and green earth. And like I said, there's 7 syllables there. And how many should be in our last line? You got it, there should be 5. Melding sun and rain. Melding sun and rain. Perfect. So that is one example of a beautiful haiku about rainbows. Now I'm going to show you what I would do. So I'm going to make a poem about storm clouds. So a lot of the poems that we've been reading are really exciting, but sometimes poems make you express a different feeling. So storm clouds make me feel like gloomy and sad. So I thought that I would use these as an example so that I could show you that not all poems have to be about happiness. All right, so I would go back to what I did yesterday, and I would try and come up with all of these ideas. So the senses I have when there are cloud storms, the feelings I have, and the thoughts I have. Now, I'm not going to worry about similes today because we're focusing more on pattern, like the haiku's pattern 7-5-7. I'm sorry, 5-7-5. All right, so here is the haiku pattern again, 5-7-5. I need to follow this. And this is a little tricky. It actually took me 2 times to get through it so that I could get the right amount of syllables and still make it interesting. But before I did that, I came up with my senses, my feelings, and my thoughts. So my senses is it's chilly, there's darkness, it's fluffy, the clouds are fluffy, and it's gray. So I used a lot of my sight, but I also use touch of chilliness. Then I have a lot of feelings when there are storm clouds. Cozy, tired, gloomy, sometimes lonely. And then I was trying to think of some thoughts that I have when when there are storm clouds, and I couldn't think of any that I really wanted to put into my poem, and that's okay. Sometimes you're not going to have any thoughts, or maybe you're not going to have many feelings, so that's okay. As long as you are getting ideas down, if you miss out on one, there's no problem there. So my first attempt, I wrote it this way, and I changed some of the words around to make it more interesting. So my first line says, darkness in the air. Let's clap that out and see if it is 5 syllables. Darkness in darkness in the air. 5 syllables, we're good to go. Now, I first wrote, it is gloomy and lonely. And I don't know, it didn't seem very poetic to me, so I decided to change it. So I crossed off it is, and I changed it to gloomy and lonely darkness. So let's tap that out and see if it's 7 syllables. Gloomy and lonely darkness. Gloomy and lonely darkness. Perfect. And our last line, bringing us storms. Bringing us storms. All right, so we have our last 5 syllables. Now, I decided to rewrite it this way because, as we know, there are only 3 lines, and in my last one, I couldn't fit this line onto one piece of paper. So if you have to flip your notebook, that is totally fine if you decide to write a haiku. All right, 2nd grade, there is a quick assignment after this video, so I am going to send you on your way. I hope you enjoyed learning about haiku, and maybe it'll be one of the poems you decide to use to write your Mother's Day poem on Friday.